Hi, my name is David Brennan with Safety Evolution. Today I want to talk to you about making sure that your workers are competent to do the job that you're asking them to do. One of the things that we see as a big challenge is companies making sure that that worker that goes out in the field can actually do that job that they're supposed to do. The big opportunity here is that when your workers are competent and they know what they're supposed to do, then they don't make as many mistakes, you don't have injuries, and you don't have as much downtime on your projects. I worked in oil and gas for a long time, and one of the big things that we came across is when you're doing investigations, how often a worker that's been injured or they've damaged something has actually never had a competency performed on them. So the employer didn't know that they didn't know how to do the job that they've been asked to do. That's a big deal for companies and making sure that their workers don't get injured. So the first thing I want to talk about is the difference between a competency and competent. A competency is a skill set that you could have. You could have a competency in communication, you could have a competency in multiple different things. Competent is different because this is us verifying that our worker or workers are competent to perform a specific task. A good example of this would be a forklift. You need to verify that that worker actually knows how to operate that piece of equipment. So they've gone to forklift training, they've had experience on other forklifts. So your job is to make sure that you go out with them, with your checklist, and verify that they know how to operate that piece of equipment. Make sure that the person performing the competency check on that worker actually knows how to operate that piece of equipment. This is not a place where you want to send out the safety person because they're the one that's free. They don't know how to operate it. They're a safety professional. Get a person that's a professional in operating that piece of equipment to do that competency. So that's what a competency is in our terminology for this. So how do you create a competency program for your company? The first thing you want to do is actually dig into your practices, your procedures, start creating a list of all the specific things that you do, so critical tasks, equipment that you operate, all that. Once you have that, using your people that know how to operate it well, the people that have been trained, as well as all of your documentation, create a checklist for each of those tasks or each of those pieces of equipment that allows you to walk through a new worker and verify that they actually know what they're doing. Once you have these checklists made, make sure you make a list of who in your company is actually competent to perform these checks in the field. Once you've done that, start rolling it out. Start with your most at-risk activities. You can look at things like investigations, where have you had injuries in the past. Start rolling out your program, doing your checks, making sure that you have those documented and that you can verify that if you need to. So one of the big things is that we see in industry, people say, oh, this person has been trained, they've worked at other companies, they know what they're doing. Don't get caught in this trap. This is the fastest way to get into an incident or getting one of your workers hurt very, very quickly. Make sure that you're doing competencies on them. Make sure that you're checking that they know how to do that job. Just because it says they know how to on a resume doesn't mean they know how to do it. So just a quick recap, make sure that you know the difference between a competency and performing a competency check. See, it even gets me. Make sure that you build out your tasks that you need to have your checklist for, who can do the checklists, and then start implementing it for your company. Once you got that all up and rolling, you're going to see an incredible decrease in your worker injuries. You'll also see that the quality of your product goes up as well. If you want to see how you can automate this, book 15 minutes with one of our team, and we'll show you how we can help you out. Have a great day.